Hi everyone, my name is Erin Elizabeth Weinberg. Thank you so much for choosing to be here with me today. Welcome back if you've been here before, and welcome if you are new here. Today we have a full moon in Pisces, also known as a harvest moon, because for everyone in North America, this is it's the last full moon of summer, first full moon before fall. So the final harvest of our crops is going on. And so today's full moon is in Pisces, and it is about, full moons as always are about letting things go. They're about cycles coming to an end. They're about releasing patterns. They're about things that you want to release from your energy field or from your life so that you can have more room to call in that which you want to create and to create something new. Okay, so this is Pick a Card Tarot. I am going to be reading the cards in that way, but this is a timeless reading. So if you're watching this when it is not the full moon, there will be a message in here for you based on the group you choose. So just stay open-minded and feel what resonates for you. Okay, I've inserted a picture of the three groups I have for you today. So you can take a moment, pause the video, take how much time you need. You can pick based on the number, based on the oracle card you can see, based on the sound of my voice, group 1, group 2, or group 3. And once you decided, all the timestamps are below, and I will see you at the reading that you chose. Hi everyone, welcome. This is for everyone who picked group number 1. So as a reminder, this is a full moon today. So full moons are about releasing and letting things go. So I am going to read the cards in that way, but as usual, take what resonates for you and leave the rest. And so you picked group 1, the Angel of Mercy. So divine mercy gives me the grace to be tender and accepting. So for this group, what the message I'm getting for you is that sometimes we do need to be merciful towards others, but sometimes we're not merciful to ourselves. So maybe you've been working through something, or with this full moon of wanting to release things, maybe you haven't given yourself grace or mercy to take the time you need to release something. Give me the grace to be tender and accepting. We can't release something or let something go until we've done our own process of releasing it and accepting it, or we can't release it until we've done our own process of accepting it. And so this Angel of Mercy, I think, is reminding you to, if maybe you're taking a little bit longer to work through something or to release something than your ego would like to say that you've been taking, maybe showing yourself a little bit of compassion, showing yourself some, mercy to move at the pace you can move, trusting that your body is doing the best it can, and trusting that you are releasing things that are for you at the pace that you can. So just see, can you be a little kinder to yourself, a little more accepting to yourself, a little more available to let things move at the pace they need to move instead of the pace that our egos say we have to be doing something at. This, of course, also can give you, is a suggestion if you need to show more mercy to someone in your life. So maybe you're having a frustrating time with someone, or things are really, you can't find a way out, or things feel overwhelming to you. If that's the case, just remember this angel, sometimes it's really easy for us to judge ourselves by our own intentions and that we're doing our best, but we forget to do that for other people. So maybe if you're in conflict with someone, or there's a situation that feels frustrating, it doesn't mean you have to excuse or condone the behavior, but just knowing that you don't need to take it as personally or internalize someone else's limitations as much as maybe you have been. So just something to think about with some mercy, where we can show some mercy for you guys. Okay, and then as usual, I'm going to start with your tarot and then clarify with your oracle cards. Okay, so we have the World in reverse to open your reading. Then we have the Five of Cups. Then we have Temperance. And center of your reading, the theme of your reading, Page of Pentacles, and then Page of Swords. So younger energy here coming in. Six of Wands, and then Three of Cups in reverse. Okay, so right off the bat, just what I was talking about with this mercy energy, the World in reverse, you need some closure, okay? This is about seeking personal closure. This is about the cycle wants to end, but there's something that isn't letting it come to completion. And so the World in reverse is really about, where do you need to seek some closure? And a lot of times we think, well, if I get this thing, then I'll have closure. If this person says this thing to me, then I'll have closure. And sometimes that's true, but sometimes if it's not happening, that can be a sign for us to turn inward and to be like, okay, what actually is going on for me? That, what do I think I need to have closure that I can give to myself? So this goes really, really beautifully with this Angel of Mercy card that we pulled in the beginning, of just knowing that the World in reverse really is about seeking closure from things that you don't have control over, right? So seeking closure from things like maybe someone, you have to act like if someone never says the thing you think you need to hear from them, how are you going to move on with your life? So it's about acknowledging that. It's about, accept what are you resisting to accepting has already happened, that you need to let go of, that you don't want to have perpetuate in your life. That's a lot of this world in reverse energy of what are things you need to let go of, and how can you give personal closure to yourself in a way that feels like fulfilling to you. And like, it's not going to be, a lot of times these things aren't immediate, or, okay, I said I have closure once, so now I'm done with it, right? A lot of times healing doesn't work like that. It's a process, and we have to choose thoughts and feelings that feel good and affirming to us more than, we would like to. A lot of times we have to take that time to really allow closure to be something we choose over and over again, instead of a one-time thing of like, okay, I thought it for 1 second, so it's done now, right? So a lot of reprogramming with these things. So I think this is, again, just really seeing where, with this full moon energy, really thinking, what can I let go of? What can I release that will give me closure I need? Or what story even do I need to release, right? Like, I can't have closure until this person says this thing to me. So maybe with the full moon, you can ask to release some of that, the need to have that happen for you, and instead just kind of be like, okay, how can I move through this process on my own before this happens? Okay, and then we have the Five of, this is like a very beautiful, let me put it this way so you can see it, transition. So we have the world, Five of Cups into Temperance. So a lot of times, Five of Cups, this is about loss. This is about letting something go. This is about taking the time to mourn something that you needed to have closure with, or didn't go your way, or you had to let go of. I mean, take it how it resonates for you, whatever's coming up for you. But a lot of times, the personal closure can happen because, I love the imagery on this card. This is about mourning those things you've lost, but you didn't lose everything, right? There's two cups right here that are still yours, still in your energy field, still things you have access to, and ways you can show up for yourself and honor yourself. And sometimes, I'm not saying to not mourn the process, because you don't want to spiritually bypass, but sometimes when we stay so focused on this, or we stay there for too long, we can miss some of the bullets that we dodged, some of the blessings that we still have. How many times in our life do things not go the way we thought they were going to, or the way we wanted to, and then it turns out it was just like totally worthwhile and really amazing, like on the other side, right? So this is really about giving yourself permission to mourn these things, but don't forget what you do have. And maybe you had to leave a relationship, or leave a job, or say no to a job opportunity, and maybe the proof isn't in physical reality that it was the right choice. But if you listen to your intuition, that is something to celebrate by itself, even if you don't have like the physical reality proof. So I think with this card, you can think about, with today's full moon, what can I let go of in terms of, how am I, judging myself, or being more painful to myself, or how am I, showing up for myself in a way that is like harming me, because I'm not allowing myself to see the good that came from this situation. And again, doing this doesn't mean that you condone, or allow, or accept, or think it's fine maybe if someone acted in a way that wasn't in the best way towards you. So we're not saying that you condone any of that stuff, but we are saying, it is what it is. It happened. How can I accept it? And like, what actually is going on, besides putting full focus on, those three cups that have fallen over. And I think, with this full moon, a lot of what's coming out is, this temperance energy, this balance. So really, when you do this, when you are able to kind of get clear about where you need closure, how you can show mercy to yourself, and what you can focus on from that, this is going to bring in a lot of balance for you, which is, Temperance card is about finding balance. And I think, this is just a really cute thing going on here. We got two cups here and then two cups here. So, just really looking at those two blessings you have, and filling the cups, letting them even out, focusing on where you do have abundance in your life, focusing on things that have worked out for you. And again, doing that doesn't negate or take away from some of these messed up things that have happened, or you've had to go through. This is just about, really refinding your footing, getting that balance, the sun rising on a new day, just taking a deep breath, moving forward, getting more clear about your own energy within yourself, and kind of restabilizing that. Because what comes from that, this beautiful theme of your reading, is the Page of Pentacles. So that's like, abundance. This is new energy. This is a new idea. This is a new experience. So what I'm getting the sense from this is, maybe you haven't been able to let something go, group one, because you don't have the alternative, right? It's easy to quit a job if we know that we have the next job lined up. It's easy to not talk to someone who we know isn't someone who we actually want to date if we have the next person available and ready to us and we can just start dating them right away. So it's easy to do those things when we have physical reality proof. But I feel like the energy I'm getting from this is maybe you're afraid to let something go or you haven't gotten closure from it because there isn't something else in physical reality to replace that. And so I feel like this Page of Pentacles is really saying, this is Pentacles being about abundance. This is something coming in for you. There is something on the other side. Faith will get you to that other side, even if it seems impossible. And even if it seems really like, wow, what is this going to be? I have no idea. Where's it going to be? But this is really saying the theme of the reading is having faith that seeds are being planted and that they do need to sprout and come out of the soil before we can see the plant or the tree or, flower, whatever plant image you want that's working for you with this. But does take time for things to grow, to come out, to, be made manifest in reality. Like sometimes we don't see the physical reality thing. And this is about, again, trusting yourself and trusting the way that things are being made manifest for you, even if you can't see them right away. So it's about having faith, having patience with that. And then going into the rest of your reading, going right into the Page of Swords. So I feel like swords are always about boundaries. And so I feel like with this Page of Pentacles, this is really about if this new thing showed up tomorrow, right? So let's say it's a new job or a new relationship or a new way you're being in relationship with someone. I mean, whatever it is that you've been working on that you needed this personal closure on, if it showed up, what are like some new boundaries you need to set for yourself with that, right? So maybe you learned, okay, I know I can't act like this in that way, or I know this is something that I used to allow in that situation, but now I don't want to anymore. So I think this is like, this is young, fresh energy, both of these pages. So really looking at if your dream scenario, dream situation happened tomorrow, what are the boundaries you would need to be able to do that, to be able to allow that thing in your life, to be able to give it permission to be with you, to be able to, like really tap into it and really have it be an abundant, important thing for you. So this is really saying, again, get clear on your boundaries, get clear on like, this new thing, and really it's okay if you need to do a little trial and error, but just kind of starting to, again, imagine, really stop putting so much like closure or so much pressure and energy on yourself to have closure. And part of where we can have closure is if we just unhook our energy a little bit from something. So really thinking about what boundaries would I need to set in this situation to be able to do that. And then I think, this is really interesting. We have the Six of Wands into the Three of Cups in reverse. So I think this is really saying, Six of Wands is really about being recognized for these things you've done, and really like, there is celebratory things here. There are things to celebrate. This is good news. Things have come to the way you want them to come. Things are working out for you. All of that's definitely there with the Six of Wands. But the Three of Cups in reverse, I think, is saying don't get ahead of yourself. So this isn't like, again, to shatter your dreams or say you shouldn't have what you want or anything like that. But this is really saying, like, with these boundaries, just being like, okay, don't overly celebrate on the first thing that comes your way, or don't just take something because it's better than nothing. So I think with these two cards, like, this is like a more, slow and steady, peaceful, riding my horse slowly through the city, whereas this is like a turn up party, like, don't think about the consequences too much. So I think when you are deciding the boundaries you want to have, this is getting really clear. And this is just saying, like, it takes more faith to wait for the thing that is like a good match for you than to just accept anything that comes to you and just like be over celebratory. So your time to celebrate will come, but just really looking at, am I choosing something out of fear because I think something else isn't coming, or is this actually the thing that is for me and that serves myself and the highest good of all involved? So with this energy, I think with this full moon, you can ask or journal or reflect on, what would I take just because I'm afraid of accepting something versus, what is actually like my ideal situation or my ideal setting or my ideal whatever. And so really taking the time to say, this is something I would be proud of choosing versus maybe some short-term fulfillment from something that isn't actually for your highest good or isn't actually for you in the long term. So just getting clear on those more nuanced differences. And a lot of times when we've done a lot of work, when we've gone through situations that have, we've had to develop resilience from, this is a more nuanced lesson. I feel like this group, you've done a lot of work, you've put some time in on yourself, and you've gotten clear about things. We get more and more clear the more we go along. And so I think this is really just about recognizing what things are better for you long term versus, short term gratification. And, it might be painful to not choose that short term gratification, especially if you've chosen it so many times in your life, but instead really, again, noticing the ways that you can be more focused on long-term, slow and steady fulfillment that will get you going instead of just immediate, I did it, I'm done, here's the party, like the end. Okay, and then I'm gonna look at your oracle cards. Okay, we'll start with this one. Reach for the stars, Orchid. You deserve only the best, and this is all you should focus your attention on. So this is what I was talking about in the beginning, just in terms of, the way you can get closure is just focusing on maybe where you're putting your attention. So maybe getting a little bit more clear about like, you deserve only the best. So again, not spiritually bypassing, not say you shouldn't feel the feelings you need to feel about a situation that didn't, work out how you thought it was going to work out. But just knowing that your attention, you deserve only the best. So maybe when we're looking at this temperance card, when you are finding more balance in your life, you can think about the ways that, reach for the stars. So what is, and even when I was talking about some of these boundaries you can set, so what are some things that really would be something that feels most beneficial to you? Where can you put your attention in a way so it does feel, like really good and really relief, and not like that desperate, immediate, just filling the hole kind of thing that I was talking about before. And then, so I'm getting a lot of messages about lightening up. So I feel like this group, if this was very painful for you, like whatever this thing you had to let go of was, I feel like, again, that mercy energy, if you can like lighten up on yourself a little bit, that would be good. I feel like we have this card, I let my action be action in joy. So I think this is really saying, as you are choosing these new things, as you are taking balance for yourself, don't look at it as like a punishment of like, oh, I had to let go of this thing, so now I have to, it's so unfair, I have to do this part of this thing and do all that. But just knowing like I have to, so whatever you're doing, how can you do it in a way that's really joyful and playful and lighthearted? So like I get to learn a deeper layer of myself. I get to practice doing new boundaries. Just see if you can add some lighthearted energy to it. And that's going to make it not seem as, unfair or imbalanced or, any of all of that. Just adding some, some lighthearted joyfulness to your life really can make a difference. Even if the action is the same thing, adding that lightheartedness really brings it like to that next level of freedom. Because we have, I choose to learn through love. So this is really beautiful. And it can just remind us that, even if you did go through a painful time, you can really shift this focus. And part of what you can release with the full moon is like, okay, how am I telling the story through fear? And instead, how can I tell it through love? So for example, I set boundaries for myself. I stood up for myself. I left this thing that didn't serve me, even though it could have been safer for me to choose this familiar route, right? So what are some lessons you've learned from like maybe your higher self, your higher perspective, instead of, the ego really feeling like, wow, that was totally unfair, I can't believe I had to go through that. Because then we have the card perspective, none of this matters, zoom out, common ground. So I think this is really going back to that mercy card again, of just like, things do matter on earth. We're not negating the human experience, but this really is saying, how can you get clear about maybe where you're really reading into the situation, or where can you lighten up? Where can you offer mercy? Where can you let go of, some of these things that have felt really intense in a way that maybe they don't need to anymore. And then the last card we have is the Wilding. So I think this is really saying getting in touch with, that energy of reach for the stars again, just like trusting your wild heart, trusting to reach beyond, maybe sometimes or maybe something you're having a hard time letting go with the closure is because you're like, wow, I can't believe I let it get that bad, or I can't believe that thing happened to me. And so just really remembering like you do have this wild nature, you do have this infinite nature in you, your heart does want to expand and grow, and you are a channel for source, for God energy to come through. And so just remembering that you can wild yourself again. You can allow that freedom to flow, that energy to flow through your life in the way you need. when you want to choose to do that. And just remember, a way you can do that is spending time in nature, of course, just taking some deep breaths. If you live near a mountain or some forest or water or anything, that imagery might resonate for you, where you can spend some time to just really like connect to nature and just really, again, keep this perspective of zoom out. Sometimes we get so caught up in the details of things that we don't realize that, like, oh, this actually, isn't as intense as I'm making it, but it's just because all my focus is on it right now. Okay, and then the last thing I want to do today for everyone is I want to bookmark the readings with the angel card. So you started with Angel of Mercy, and then we're going to end with another angel card for this group. The Angel Prince of the West. I create the reality around me with thoughts of pure love and goodness. Okay, so again, for this group, I feel like big message we're getting for this full moon is kind of releasing the story you've been telling yourself and really, showing mercy to yourself, having thoughts of pure love and goodness. So just really see if you can tap into that creative, infinite energy you have to write a new story, to tell a new story, to let things, be from a loving perspective of things are just a chance for you to connect to your higher self instead of punishment. Okay, that's everything I have for you. I hope this served you. If you ever want any more information about me, all that is linked below. Thank you so much for choosing to be here with me today. Happy full moon, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Hi, everyone. Welcome. This is for everyone who picked group number 2. So as a reminder, this is a full moon. So this is about letting things go. It's about releasing things, cycles ending, and removing thoughts or things that don't really serve us anymore. So I'm going to be reading the cards in that way. But if it is not the full moon when you're watching this, just remember that there is a message in here for you if you felt called to watch this reading. Okay, so group 2, you have the guardian angel of service. I offer the best of my talents and goodwill, making my place in the universe a better one. So this is really saying that, if you are a spiritual person, which I'm assuming you are, you're watching a YouTube video on a tarot reading, you could be doing anything else with your time. So someone who does want to be of service, I offer the best of my talents and goodwill. Sometimes for a lot of us who do want to be here and be of service, we can have this fear of being seen. We can have this fear of taking up space. We can have a lot of imposter syndrome. So I feel like whatever talent you have, whatever thing you can offer to be of service to this world, for people who need your services, because they do, because you're here. Okay, I feel like this card is really saying, I offer the best of my talents and goodwill, making my place in the universe a better one. If you are having fear or doubts, or maybe some, you're trying to hide, or maybe, you kind of can hear what you want to do to be of service, but you're not really doing it. This can be some energy to remind you that you do make the world a better place, even if you feel like you're not. But we all are given like God-given talents and things we can offer the world on purpose. And so once you can hear them, and maybe, you have to figure out the actual specifics of it and get your footing right, all of that. But if you can hear what your guidance is, this is a big message for this group. I think with this full moon, you can ask to release some of that imposter syndrome, and you can ask to, be of service. And you can say a small prayer of like, I am ready to offer my gifts and talents to the world, and I open my heart to whoever I'm ready to receive, whoever is ready to receive my gifts, like, please help me link up with them, right? So if you feel fearful with some of that, this is really saying that, if we learned anything in the last year and a half-ish for everything that's gone on in the world, we need people to be of service. We need people to embody their gifts. So if you're feeling nervous or unsure, this is a really big message for you to really honor your talents and your goodwill. And it doesn't have to be like a specific thing. It could just be, if you're an understanding person, that the ways you interact with people in your day-to-day life, that you can offer goodwill, you can offer some kindness, you can, show a little more mercy and love and compassion and model that for other people. And you never know, just one person interacting with someone like that in the day really can have a positive impact on them. So really thinking about being of service. Okay, and as usual, I'm going to start with your tarot, and then we'll clarify with your oracle cards. Okay, so we have Wheel of Fortune in reverse, then we have Four of Cups, then we have the Empress, then we have the Devil. Theme of your reading, don't click off, we'll talk about it. It's fine. Seven of Cups, Three of Wands, and a King of Wands to end your reading. Okay, so I feel like with this group, maybe you had some momentum going, maybe things were happening for you, maybe you were in the process of things going for you, and then that momentum kind of stopped. You're kind of like, okay, where's the wheels of destiny? Why aren't things working out for me? What am I doing? What's going on? Right? So Wheel of Fortune upright is about things changing. It's a Wheel of Destiny coming in. Reversed is about maybe a standstill. Maybe you've been working on something, maybe it has to do with the ways you've been of service, and you're just like, the hell's going on? Why isn't this moving forward? Why isn't there results? Why isn't there more guidance? Why isn't there, so this is maybe some energy of, take it how it resonates for you, but if there has been something of like you were chugging along going, you're doing your part, and then things just aren't happening, the things you can't control just aren't happening. And so I think this is really about honoring yourself. Don't take that energy and put it on yourself. Don't take that energy and blame yourself. Don't internalize something not happening if you've been doing your part of it to mean something negative about you, right? Now, even if we do everything correct and we check all the boxes and we're being responsible for ourselves, it's always God's time and not our time. So if you're feeling frustrated, like things aren't happening or moving forward, you can ask with that full moon, and with today's full moon, you can ask to release, like, today I would like to not internalize this as something to mean something about me anymore. Or you can ask to release the story of like, I'm not in control. God is actually in control. So please help me release the story that I could be doing something different than what I'm doing. So this is really energy of, things not moving forward at the pace we think they should, or that our ego wants us to, or anything like that. And instead just releasing it and being like, okay, something is happening, even if I can't see it. And then the wheels of destiny will start turning again eventually, even if I feel like nothing is happening right now. And then going along with that, we have the Four of Cups, which is about resistance energy. So I feel like this plays really nicely with the Wheel of Fortune in terms of, this Wheel of Fortune in reverse really can be like, damn, what's going on? Why isn't anything happening? And then sometimes when we get so focused and so upset on like, wow, this thing really isn't happening for me, like God could be handing us a new blessing or a new route or a new way to go, but we're just not accepting it because we're so focused and we're so upset about the things that didn't work out for us. So like this Three of Cups could be all the blessings we do have, all the work we've already done, all the things we've already accomplished, all the things that are moving forward with us, but we're just not noticing them because we're so focused on this one thing. And this is also, a really good reminder to us that a lot of times it can be like, well, I thought it was going to be like this. And then if our blessing comes in a different way, or maybe something we didn't think it was going to be, we don't even notice that something's being offered to us because we're so focused on the things we don't have, or it's like, it had to be this one way. It has to be this one form. It has to be like this, that we ignore something else that possibly could also be, an answer to our prayer. So maybe with this full moon also, you can, if the wheel feels stuck for you, you can say like, God, please help me see this in a way that is beyond my limits, that's beyond how I think it could work out, how I think it needs to happen, and please show me what actually is, how the situation could be benefiting me right now, how the situation actually is working out for my highest good, and what I need to open my heart to that maybe I'm not, because I'm feeling a little resistance, or like not accepting something if it's coming in a form that you don't know, because you do have like a lot of this Empress energy, a lot of this divine feminine energy. Empress really is, regardless of your gender, Empress really is divine feminine energy, and it really is this energy about like intuition. And so I think this is really saying, what I was saying with allowing things to be something other than we thought, this is energy you can tap into with that, right? So maybe you've been trying to do a lot of masculine energy things, but with the Empress divine feminine, you can pray about it, you can meditate about it, you can journal about it, you can just be open to receiving. Like, just imagine your heart chakra opening to receive something, instead of some of this energy, right? To the opposite of the Four of Cups. So you want to open your heart energy to receive something. And so really tapping into, if you're having resistance, or maybe you're having judgment of like, okay, well, praying about it or making a list or meditating about it, that's not doing anything. Maybe if you're having resistance like that, you can ask that to be released during this full moon, because the Empress really, again, is about that full moon, or it really is about that divine feminine energy of allowing things to come in a way that maybe we didn't know, or allowing things to go at the pace they need to go at, or, just getting a lot of intuited energy instead of, the logical solution for that. And I feel like this is going to be big for you, because we have the devil, the center of your reading. So I feel like you are really, you are really have an opportunity here to break the chain of a way that you have been acting over and over again that isn't serving you anymore. So this is not like, people see the devil and they're like, oh my God, this isn't like an evil card. You're not doomed, none of that. The devil really is just about, maybe the cycle has stopped or things aren't moving forward because you have to do things in a new way that you've never done before. So maybe take some time with this Empress and the devil and just meditate on like, what is a new way I could go about this, or I could think about this, or something new I could try that is different than what I've always done? Because the devil is about temptation. It's about falling back into old patterns, especially old addictions, old things that we think satisfied us but never did. So this really is energy about letting things go that don't serve us, and letting things go that, again, our ego is like, no, it has to be this way. It can only go this way. So these two cards together, again, with the devil, I feel like you're really hooked into this one way of doing it when you don't have to do it that way anymore. So I think with this, you can, with the full moon, you can write or release or ask to let go of some of these things that are really focused on what are ways that I feel like I have to show up that don't serve me anymore. What's a pattern I don't even realize I'm doing that I can break? What's something I can do that can release some of this energy where I'm like, oh, I thought it had to be like this, and this, but maybe, it doesn't really have to be like that. Because after that, look at this. 7 of Cups. This is options, baby. You got choices. You got a lot of choices. So I think when you can unhook from like this way you've always done things over and over again, or maybe, getting lost in an addiction to something, like maybe getting frustrating and then like overeating, or getting frustrated and playing video games, or getting frustrated and, doing something that is like pulling your energy away from what you want to do, tempted by the devil. Once you can release that and maybe connect more to this Empress energy, look at this, options. Okay, this is you. Once you can allow that intuition to flow and you give yourself permission to open up from like, well, this isn't the way I thought I was going to go, so I'm not open to it at all. This is what's going to happen, right? There's always so many more options than our logical mind wants us to acknowledge, but because we're used to being in control, or we think we have to be in control, it can be harder for us to realize I actually have these many different options for what I want to do. And you like can be taken aback, like, oh my God, holy shit, look at all these things that actually could come forward to me, that could be important to me, that could, come in this way that I wasn't expecting or wasn't ready to do. And then from there, you're going to have some choices to make, which is really great. And so I think when you give yourself permission to consider all the options, this is when you're going to have a moment to be like, wow, I could do this, or this thing. So maybe a million ideas are going to come to you. 7. Okay. A million or 7 or anywhere in between ideas are going to come to you. And then it's going to be up to you to take a moment and really be like, wow, what are the things I want? What really feels good for me? What feels like it could be the right and perfect thing for me? Like, and just taking a moment to turn inward. And again, that is part of that Empress feminine energy of being still, of hearing what you hear when you are still, of allowing the silence to speak to you, allowing God to speak to you in your prayers and all of that. And just really, really owning that energy and just really getting clear, like, okay, these are the 3 things I'm considering. And so what am I going to consider? Let's look at this. Closing your reading. So beautiful. King of Wands. You chose the one that served you, baby, and you got to the other side. And that is amazing. And so this is really saying that you can't choose wrong. I feel like the theme for this reading is really opening up your energy and allowing something to flow or something to happen that maybe you hadn't considered before or haven't considered in a long time. And so with this King of Wands, again, regardless of your gender, this is really about masculine, owning your power. You did it. Salamander energy of like transformation, of, kind of moving into these things that serve you in a way that maybe you didn't think you could. And so really, really holding that and knowing that, when you tap into, when you really let your divine feminine, masculine energy work together, that's when we create the most abundance in our lives, because we're not overly masculine or overly feminine, but we're combining this masculine and feminine energy we have together to create this reality. So a lot of feminine energy is about allowing ideas, allowing options. And then King of Wands, the masculine energy, is about allowing that energy to flow and having the confidence to act on it and having the confidence to make those things happen for you, even if you don't see how it possibly could. So again, I feel like for this group, a lot of this full moon energy can be about releasing things that, patterns that you're stuck in, or things that you feel like, you have to say yes to when you don't have to, or, just being stuck in a way that maybe like, oh, I thought it had to be like that, but it actually could be, a different way. So let's look at your oracle cards. Okay. Very beautiful. Okay, so energy flows where my intention goes. So I think this is just exactly what I was talking about, of just like, kind of pulling your energy back from this Four of Cups and just being like, wow, I'm so upset that it's not happening in this exact way I thought. So let me put that off. And again, tapping into this Empress energy of what can I allow? How can I open up my energy to maybe give me, these other options I didn't think were possible. And you can even set the intention, or however you can say the prayer, however the wording feels good for you, but just like, I intend to open myself up to creative possibilities. I intend to allow myself to see that there's more than one way that this can happen. I intend to let go and let God, anything like that, but just really knowing that you have the power to change where your energy and your focus is really important, because we have which one am I going to start with? We have cleanse your energy, African violet. When you release negativity, the answer to your question shines through. So this doesn't necessarily have to be negativity, but with the theme of this reading, what we're talking about is, when you release the way things have to be, when you release the way things, again, this Four of Cups energy, like it has to be this way or I'm not open to it, right? So when you release, this is saying, like, again, cleanse your energy, reset your palette, reset your creative energy, tap into this Empress energy, open yourself up to creative possibilities, just opening yourself up to ways things could work out, even if it's not the exact way you thought it was going to. So I think, if you need to, you can do it, take a bath and imagine your energy changing. You can do a sound bath. I mean, there's plenty of those on YouTube. Just look up, cleansing my energy sound baths, and just allow that to kind of wash over you, release some of that energy. Because this card, if I'm resisting evil, I'm attracting evil. So this doesn't necessarily have to be evil, but I think, it's a good theme because we have the devil here. So some of that, but this could be, sometimes we think, well, I don't want that, I don't want that, I don't want that, I don't want that. And you push your energy up against it so much that you're actually so focused on it, right? Or you're like, wow, the wheel is not moving, it's not moving, it's not moving. What the hell's going on? Why isn't this working, right? And then the one way I thought it was going to happen isn't happening. What's going on? And so, when you have all your energy focused on this of like, why, this is so messed up, what's going on, you've actually hooked your energy into that. And so again, you can focus on unhooking it. And just, again, really, really big theme here for group 2 of just allowing that feminine energy, allowing creative possibilities, letting something happen, that you didn't think could be the way it could work out, is going to be really important. And then just ending with this, we have connect to heart. So again, I feel like that heart chakra energy, opening your heart space. Your heart is a portal, keep it open, allow yourself to connect to your heart and get clear about the ways that you might be, again, four of cups here really is about a blocked heart, and really about a blocked, not letting things flow, or how, a lot of this energy can come through for us. And then last is fall into my arms, surrender, holding the opposites extremes of life. So I think this is, again, kind of breaking that wall down and being really, really stuck in, it has to be this way. And then with the opposites here, this is, again, a lot of that energy of balancing the divine feminine and divine masculine energy. So knowing that you need both to work through this. If you've just been focusing on one, if you can open your energy up to get to the other side, it's going to be important for you to do that. And again, just surrender, letting go, allowing yourself to be guided, allowing God to guide you to what could be the possible solution, even if you really feel like you're like, I have no clue what it could be if it's not this exact way, right? And you can express your preference, when you talk to God, when you pray, when you journal, when you whatever, you can say, I would like it to be this, but I'm also open to your plan because I know it's better than my plan with my limited human mind of what could happen. So fall into my arms, it's just, again, a reminder, you do have angelic support on the other side. You probably have physical reality support. So just really tapping into a lot of, the support you do have to be able to serve you as you move through this. Okay, and then what I want to do today is I'm going to bookmark the reading. So we started with the angel card, and then I want to pick one more for everyone. So I'm just going to pick one more guardian angel card. The guardian angel of young adults. I am guided and protected as I begin to choose my path in life. Okay, so this card goes really beautifully with the service card. So maybe you feel called to be of service by working with young adults, or if you are a young adult, like, hello, you are guided as maybe you feel blocked because you thought it had to be one particular way. And then maybe if you're a little bit older, maybe if you're just a regular adult, not a young adult, this could be thinking about what things really got you excited when you were younger, right? Sometimes we can really be like, I don't know how to be myself. I don't know what I like. I don't know whatever. But a lot of times when we were children or even young adults, we were pretty clear because we had the creative space and we weren't shoved with all the socialization of what we should or shouldn't do. So maybe tapping into, your younger self and asking that for guidance and reconnecting to that to guide you to what serves you as you do work to be of service. Okay, that's everything I have for you. I hope this served you. If you ever want any more information about me, all that is linked below. Thank you so much for choosing to be here with me today. Happy full moon, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Hi, everyone. Welcome. This is for everyone who picked group number 3. So as a reminder, today is a full moon, so I am going to be reading the cards in a way of releasing, letting things go, cycles ending, clearing out your energy, all that. But if you're watching this when this is not the full moon, just take what resonates for you and leave the rest. And trust that if you were called to watch this, there is a message in here for you. Okay, so group 3, you started with the Angel Prince of the North. I celebrate my uniqueness with joy and gratitude. So really beautiful. I think uniqueness is a really good word to focus on here. And I just want to remind us that, if you are here to be a healer, to offer service to the world, whatever that looks like, which again, if you're watching a YouTube video of a tarot reading, we're going to assume you are here to make a change, to make something be different. This is reminding us that if you don't fit into a perfect box or the way you think you need to for society, that's good. Okay. It's good for you to know that, you don't actually fit in because you have uniqueness, you have a unique gift, you have to bridge certain things together, you have to offer an alternative perspective for people, or offer a certain way things could be that maybe they don't realize that they could be. So if you've been doing any self-judgment, or maybe like, oh, well, I want to be like this, but I'm not quite this way to be like that, then this is about letting that judgment go and knowing that you are unique on purpose. And, you can have joy and gratitude about it. You can just tell a new story for yourself of, celebrating your uniqueness instead of judging yourself for feeling like, wow, I wish I was less this so I could be more like this, or I wish I was more like this instead of this. Instead, just being like, you are perfectly created. All of your divine gifts and talents are given on purpose. And really, with this full moon, see if you can release some of that and know that it's all worth it for you as you move on your path, and that your uniqueness is absolutely on purpose and actually is what makes you special and what makes you able to offer the gifts you can offer to the world, for everyone to have that and to celebrate that. And your gift can just be your presence. You don't have to have like a specific skill or feel like, who am I? What am I offering? Right? People underestimate, because of capitalism and, a lot of our worth is placed on our production value, or supposedly, right? It's not actually. A lot of people, just our presence and being a loving, kind person, and wanting to be just and fair and kind and compassionate is actually really, really helpful, even if it's not a particular like skill set in terms of like, marketability. Okay, I'm going to start with your tarot like usual, and then we will go with your oracle cards. Okay, so group 3, starting with the Ace of Wands. Very nice. The Chariot, right into the 4 of Wands, the Moon in reverse, Ace of Swords, Ace of Cups, 3 aces in this reading. Okay, so a lot of new energy, and then ending with the 9 of Cups. Okay, I mean, like I said, Ace of Wands, Ace of Swords, Ace of Cups. We're going to talk about it, but the energy I'm getting right away from this reading is, if you are not embodying your uniqueness, stop and start doing that. Okay, this is a big theme for this reading. I feel like this really applies to that. I'm going to get into the details of it, but again, I celebrate my uniqueness with joy and gratitude. I mean, this is really what I would like you to set your intention to be for this full moon, of like, how can I stop judging myself and instead allow, you know, my own unique energy to flow through me, and how can I allow that to happen? I feel like, I mean, just look at this beautiful progression here. We have the Ace of Wands, Chariot to the Four of Wands to open your reading. Really beautiful. Okay, so Ace of Wands is about new energy. It's about new action. Like, so maybe you had an idea in the recent past and you were like, wow, I want to do that. This is something I want to do. This is something that feels good to me. This is something that is like a way I can show up. It's a project I have, right? So then Chariot is the forward motion of it. It's the, okay, I did it. Now I'm moving forward. I'm going to do what I have to do. And beautiful progression right into this Four of Wands. You did what you had to do. Four of Wands is like the gateway. It's about like, you know, was just fulfilled. It's about, you know, creating the reality that you want, seeing a project through to the end, commitment to something, which is again part of that Chariot energy. So I feel like you've already done one part of your mission, or one part of a way that your unique energy shows up. And this is really about like, you are accomplished in something, right? It could be something that maybe you don't feel like you're accomplished because it came so second nature to you. It's just something you're like, well, yeah, I did that. You know, of course I got a degree in that, or of course I got a job in this, or of course I healed this thing of my trauma, or of course I, you know, I don't know, take how it resonates for you. But this is really about, the idea was there, you took the motion, made it happen. The end, no problems, no resistance here. Again, a very clear progression with that, very lots of energy around, you know, just deciding something was happening, making it happen, committing to it. So all of this energy, and not a lot of, you know, some of this like, oh, what am I going to do? What's going to happen? What's going on with this? Right. But so this is really about, you know, taking a moment, I think, to, if you haven't, just be like, wow, maybe you've been feeling frustrated about things moving forward or the next part in your life, but really taking a moment to be like, okay, well, I did all of this and this thing did happen for me, and I did create this and this thing for myself. So again, just taking a moment to really be like, there has to be at least one thing in your life. And if you're having trouble accessing it, you can ask people who love and care about you, and who you feel safe with. Just like, what is one thing that you had the idea, then you took forward motion, and then it came to fruition, right? It could just, again, could be anything, but I feel like this is just really, the message I'm getting from this is just like don't downplay yourself. Don't talk yourself out of something, just if it seems simple to you. A lot of times we don't realize things are our strengths or our gifts because they are so second nature to us. And, you know, we don't have a lot of resistance there. We don't have, you know, something coming up to like talk us out of that, that's not a gift for us. Whereas some things that feel scary to us, or like where we need to push ourselves a little bit, you know, that's things to work through. But there's so many things we're born with, and that we just kind of move through life that was just like, oh yeah, well, of course I did that. And like, we don't even again realize that those things can be a challenge for other people, which, like, no judgment, you know, but a lot of our gifts, sometimes we don't even realize, you know, are a gift, because it's just like, oh, that's so natural to me, right? Oh, of course I don't mind doing that, or of course this is an easy thing for me to do, that maybe for someone else it could be challenging. So taking a moment to get clear about that, to honor that within yourself. Again, I feel like uniqueness is the big theme for this group, of just really honoring that. And the moon in reverse. So I feel like this group, big message we're getting here is your intuition is guiding you to how to take this thing you've accomplished to the next level, or how to get to the next thing in your life, or the next thing you really care about. Your intuition is coming through. The moon upright is about listening to intuition. It's about other realms, about things being unveiled to you. So I'm getting a lot of resistance to what you're being shown and what you're being guided to do. I feel like with this card, there's resistance of like, oh, well, who am I to do that? Like, I did this little part of it, but I can't do the whole thing. Or, well, I did it in a way that's societally acceptable, and that's fine, right? But I'm not going to push it beyond that. Like, you know, I did my job, but I can't do it in that way. Or I have a degree in this, but that doesn't mean I can do this other thing. So there's something going on here where you are getting the guidance of how to combine, again, your unique abilities together, but you feel like you can't, you feel like that's not for me. That's a little too scary. Like, I can't make that happen, even though, you did all these other things. Like, you did, like, let's say part A is this, and then part B is something else to get you to this unique experience that you have. It's like you did part A, but this other part making you a little unique or putting you apart a little bit that you can hear your guidance or what you want to do. Not so much. Feeling a little resistant to it, feeling a little like, no, 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 that can't be me. I can't do it. But with this full moon, I think it's time for you to stop doing that and allow some of these things to move through you. Because a lot of times, it does take more strength and bravery and ability to kind of push through some of these things in life to create the life you do want and create the things you do want and be a little bit different, maybe a little non-traditional, non-conventional about it, than it does to just kind of like be on the path that has already been, paved for you. So maybe, you did it this way, but now it's like, okay, what's your unique flair and flavor and way you can do it that feels scary, feels like, well, I don't know if I can actually do that. Because again, I love tarot is so literal to me. And this is just clear cut. Here's one side. Here's what you're resisting. Here's the other side. This reading is very, very clear. Okay. We have the Ace of Swords, Ace of Cups, right into the Nine of Cups. So this swords are always about boundaries. They're about cutting away the crap. They're about getting clear. So I think with this full moon, what you can do is write down a list of all the reasons why you're blocking your intuition, blocking guidance. Like, oh, well, I'm not smart enough to do that. No one else has done that before me. Who am I to do that? Whatever your limiting beliefs are, why you shouldn't be listening to your intuition, make a list of doing that, cross it out, and then write something from your higher self, right? So it could be something of like, who am I to do this? Cross that out. The boundary you can set with this is, I trust and have faith that I was uniquely created and divinely created. So my guidance, I trust listening to my guidance, right? So just rewriting these stories, setting the boundaries around it. It can also be your fears that are coming up, right? So I feel fearful. If I follow this path, I won't make any money, or my family won't like me anymore, or I'm too old, or I'm too young, or whatever's coming up for you. But this is really about, the ways that you can set these boundaries and again, cut away all the crap, all the limiting beliefs, all the fear stories, all the everything about why you can't embody this unique energy that we got in the beginning to be able to offer this gift to the world. Because once you do that, look what's going to happen. Abundance, 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 overflow, overflow, overflow. So this is really about, once you cut away this crap and these lies, then there's so much ability to focus on things that can serve you, so much ability to focus on abundance, overflowing, wow, actually, if I am the first person to pioneer this, or if I am the first person in my family to do this, or if I'm going to level myself up here, then that can spread and be an option for other people. So once you cut away all this crap, this is just beautiful overflow energy of like, wow, I'm so glad I did that because look what's on the other side. Overflow, overflow. And then again, beautiful progression, Ace of Cups right into the Nine of Cups. This is wishes fulfilled. This is like, I did it. Look at all my cups behind me. I did all this, right? So this is emotional fulfillment. This is just feeling so proud of the ways that you have fulfilled the things that are for you. And so maybe, Four of Wands is maybe more about physical gain and things like that. And then this is more about maybe some emotional gain. This can be about, the ways that you've emotionally healed yourself. Maybe you healed lineage trauma. Maybe you've rewritten things for yourself. But just really honoring, just again, this beautiful progression is going to overflow into all of these cups for you, into all of this abundance, all of these things that when you act of service, when you embody that, that is so much more powerful even than the particular service you're offering, right? So this is really about, seeing if you can let go of the reasons why you can't be this unique mashup of all these things that make sense to you and feel like you are in your gut, and instead embodying that and being like, oh, that's why I'm going to do it, because look at all this amazing stuff I'm going to offer to everyone around me. Hello, yes, exactly. That's why you want to do it. Totally, right? So yeah, I feel like with this full moon, just knowing it's not about hearing your intuition. I feel like that's very clear. It's about moving some of the resistance to that instead of, allowing that to move forward in your life. So it's not about I can't hear my intuition. It's about you can hear it, but you're resisting it, right? You're resisting what could be the next thing to happen for you. Okay, let's look at your oracle cards. Wow, wow, wow. Okay, let's start with this one. Earth, learning how to be human in the world, but not of it. So I feel like this is a really big message here, and part of maybe why it's so contradictory or why things feel so hard for you. So in the world, but not of it, a lot of people who have gifts to give, who have skills to share, who have whatever, is we know, these are some of the rules you have to play in Earth School and the things we have to do, but we're here to kind of create new systems. You're not here to just regurgitate things you've been born into. And so this is just a reminder that you do have to learn how to play the earth game, which I feel like you have from the early part of your reading, but also knowing that you're here on this world to help move into this next level of being and this next way of showing up for service and support and care. And so really honoring your unique gift and knowing that you're here to create new structures and things that are helpful and help people feel good about themselves and do all of that instead of, just again, born into this, copy paste it, here's my life, the end, right? We want to move away from that and instead move into this really energy of, I'm in the world, but I'm not of it. But while I am here, I am going to offer my gifts and talents in the way that I can. And so I see myself enjoying perfect well-being. So again, I feel like if there's been some anxiety or some fear around why you haven't been listening to your intuition, this card is just just a reminder, like, you can really affirm through that and just say, I was divinely created. I know I trust my intentions. I am here for a reason. I'm here on purpose. Just trusting that you aren't being this unique creature, or you don't want to do these things with malicious intent. If you do, all right, you might need to have some inner work done, right? But we're going to assume here that these goals you have and you resisting them is because they are something that does feel joyous to you, but it just feels impossible or like it's not probable for you. So this really is about, giving yourself permission to, what if you did listen to your intuition? What if all that stuff did come true? What if you did offer so much to the world? And just imagining like that positive. And again, with this full moon asking to release some of those fears and some of like the ways that are keeping you small and stuck. And then we have open your heart, red rose. Your potential for greater love rests in opening your heart. Blockages and wounds from your past will be healed, and you'll be met with the true passion you seek. So I feel like if you're resisting your intuition, maybe there's some old wounding coming up, like this card is talking about. So maybe, you have money fears, like if I follow my heart, then I will be broke like my family was. Or, I saw this person try to make their own business and then they failed, so I can't do that. Or, so this really is about just honoring maybe some of the fear thoughts that coming through, and knowing that you're not having those thoughts because you're bad or stupid. You're having them because you're trying to protect yourself. And so that's fine. And so maybe, having a little tenderness to yourself, maybe looking at, as you do write this fear story, just getting clear about, well, I'm thinking that because I'm fearful, of this particular thing happening. And then that goes along really well with this card. We have true healing occurs when I give myself permission to feel whatever feelings live below the triggers. So again, I feel like maybe part of the resistance to the intuition, what's coming up a lot with this reading is there's a fear of getting hurt again, maybe getting burned, maybe losing stability, maybe, I don't know, but there's some resistance to taking that leap of faith to do this. And so I feel like your healing can occur when you give yourself permission to just be like, okay, what is going on here? Where are these fear stories coming from? Is this my story? Is this something from my family? Is this something I picked up from society growing up, maybe from my religion, from my school, from, maybe my caregiver? So just really getting clear about what is below the resistance. And then that is what will set you free. Not just like, well, I need to think a new thought, so let me think it. You can't force yourself into that. Just really getting clear about where it came from, and then, working to clear that out instead of just being like, oh, I don't want to think that anymore. Like the end, it's over. And then last card, we have play. So I think this has been a pretty intense reading in terms of what you need to release and let go of. But just a reminder, you can be playful about this. You can be fun. You can look at it as like a game. Like, well, every time I think this thought, I'm going to think this new thought instead. Or anytime I want to do this, I'm going to do this instead. So this is just reminding you again that you can do lighthearted healing. You can do lighthearted rewriting. You can, think these affirmations and say these new thoughts to yourself while you're on a walk in nature, while you're, doing an activity you love. You can listen to affirmations while you're working on a puzzle, or, just it doesn't have to be like, I have to sit down and heal and rewrite this right now. This can be a playful, fun energy. And sometimes I feel like we look at our expansiveness in such a focused, serious way, when actually we're so much better off, and the next steps can be so much easier when we look at this in like a playful, lighthearted way. So just ask if you can call in some lightheartedness into your life, be beneficial for you. Okay, and then what I've been doing today, what I feel called to do, is I want to bookmark these readings with an angel card. So we started with Angel Prince of the North. I celebrate my uniqueness with joy and gratitude. And then we want to bookmark it with another angel card. All right, this one fell out, so I think this is the one for you guys. The Archangel Metatron. I am united with the source of all goodness, love, and creativity. Wow. Really good one to end on. And so just a reminder that, again, any ideas that come through, any ways that you feel like you are unique or that you can offer the world, that is just a clear channel to the source of all goodness, love, and creativity. So just remember, if you feel like, oh, who am I to do this? Well, who are you not to do it? Because you're just a physical embodiment of like the divine, right? You're a child of God, you're a child of the universe. You are here to offer your gifts and talents. And so this really is about just remembering that, instead of, oh, who am I to do this? Well, who are you not here to do it, right? So a really beautiful one to end your reading on, Archangel Metatron. Okay, that's everything I have for you. Thank you so much for choosing to be here with me today. Happy full moon. If you ever want any more information about me, all of that is linked below. Thank you so much, and I hope you have a wonderful day.